Welcome to Leading Organizations That Matter, a podcast on the topics of leadership, organizational culture, and finding meaning and purpose in our work. I'm Ray Spadoni, former CEO and current consultant, author, and speaker. Today's topic is when new leaders encounter toxic cultures. I've spent a great deal of time working within challenging and toxic organizational cultures, whether as CEO, executive, or consultant, and can say with a great deal of confidence that they can prove highly challenging or even fatal for a new leader if he or she does not pursue a deliberate course to tackle that culture head on. More than a few good leaders have walked into a new position with optimism and hope, only to experience the metaphorical equivalent of a log confronting an industrial wood chipper. It's not pretty. The telltale sign of a toxic work culture when the new sheriff rides into town is for the townspeople to wait it out or to carry on according to the previously established rules of engagement. If decisions were made in the shadows before, some leaders and staff will want very much for that to continue. In the shadows is where they often find their own power and can quash emerging threats. Furthermore, some organizations have defeated a new leader in the past, causing that person to fail outright and depart in shame. This emboldens such brash tactics and rewards bad behaviors. Toxic cultures typically take years or even decades to form, and so they don't go quietly into the night usually. They're tough, resilient, and prepared to fight. So, what should the new leader do? A few things. Actually, here's 5 things. 1. Demonstrate toughness. It will be important for the new leader to show that they will not be so easily deterred. This can be done through simple outward signs of resilience, brushing off public challenges, and showing that they're bigger than whatever it is that's trying to bring them down. I've seen instances where new leaders seemed shocked, dismayed, and wounded by the toxicity, and this only serves to further embolden the bad apples. 2, call it out. When there are egregiously unproductive and even destructive actions taking place within a culture, it can be very important for the new leader to shine a bright light upon them. Now, I don't suggest this lightly, and the leader is going to need to consider the risks, including even the possibility of a legal challenge. But left undeterred, these destructive behaviors can become the undoing of that new leader. Therefore, I do not think that it is unreasonable to fight fire with fire. If there is someone who is clearly undermining the new leader, there can be great power and symbolic benefit in exposing and eliminating that threat. Believe me, the shadow lurkers will take notice. 3, gain a power base through relationships. There will be many in the organization, particularly those bothered by the chronic toxicity, who will be cheering for the new leader to make improvements. But they will be cheering quietly or probably silently because negative cultures don't like whistleblowers and do-gooders. It will be important for the new leader to seek out allies and to give voice to all those who desire a more positive and healthy organizational culture. Additionally, the leader may want to try to convert those who are engaging in less than ideal organizational tendencies, as many are really only operating at the periphery of the real problem. Typically, it's a small core number of individuals who are driving the toxicity, frequently manipulating other employees towards dangerous behaviors, such as criticizing within public forums, or visibly supporting staff unrest. Converts can become powerful allies. 4. Engage the governance. For CEOs who are in this type of situation, it will be important to speak clearly and very directly to members of the board or leaders in the corporate office, depending on the governance structure, about such problems and to gain their support early on. Those who are higher up in the chain of command want their new hire to be a good hire, and so they will be inclined to help, but only if they understand what is happening. All too often, a crisis in confidence reaches that higher level when the CEO is weak and visibly damaged. Then it's often too late. And finally, 5, look in the mirror. The leader who is encountering these types of organizational challenges should conduct an honest self-assessment to determine whether he or she is actually fueling the fire, ignoring warning signs, or turning a deaf ear to those who seem negative, but who are actually trying to help. A strong dose of humility and self-awareness can become vital ingredients for the leader who finds him or herself walking in these particular shoes. Thanks for listening. I hope you'll consider subscribing to this podcast and providing a review on Apple Podcasts or your platform of choice. Feel free to learn more about me and my work at redsailsadvisors.com.